It is the Riot Podcast, the Tuesday, May 10th edition. What should be the last edition without Nikki for a little while. She should be back tomorrow. We'll still see, but we're hopeful that she'll be back tomorrow. Isaiah filling in. Hello, Isaiah.
Howdy.
You know what we haven't done on here in a while?
What haven't we done?
We have not read reviews, which is why, if you're watching the video podcast, you can see I'm holding my phone. Got a slew of reviews. Mostly positive.
Good ones?
Mostly
Bad
positive.
ones?
Almost entirely 5 stars. That I'm not going to read all of them. We don't have all day.
We'll get around to all of them, though. We will read yours at some point, but for today, we will just read a couple.
I have Steven here who gave us 5 stars. Steven says, fun and engaging conversation. A lot of fun to listen along to them ribbing each other and discussing news, and it comes with a handy-dandy fast-forward button for when they get distracted by sports.
Oh, okay,
Steven
that's fair.
hates sports.
That's fair, Steven. I
They
understand.
always talk about being the worst, but to me, they are the best, most uplifting show in podcasting.
That's so sweet.
Isn't that so sweet?
That was such a good review.
I
More
appreciate
of that.
Yeah. Well,
I wish
there's more, like I said.
Goodness gracious, that was such a good review.
Yeah. We'll make it a tradition again to get back into the reviews. As long as people keep posting positive ones.
Yeah, exactly.
And even if somebody posts a negative one, I'll read it.
Hey, we'll
I'm
read
not
it.
afraid of some
take
good
it on.
criticism.
Actually, no, I don't want a negative one, but we will read it if it is negative. But we prefer the 5 stars,
Of course we do.
We want the 5 stars. But today, hopefully another 5-star podcast here. And some of the good stuff we talked about, one of them was a man who during the show we kind of trashed him a little bit because of his style. He had kind of a weird mustache.
Yeah.
But it kind of went into his whole kind of thing of crashing weddings and stealing money. Like,
Yeah.
what kind of guy goes to a wedding, crashes it, number one, and then takes the gifts that the people were given for their wedding?
Sounds like he's hit as close to rock bottom as you can go. He's crashing weddings, stealing from the weddings, and he's going through a divorce. So he says he's sitting there listening to the vows and like weeping because he knows they're not true in his world.
That was his excuse.
That's his excuse.
Which is such a crappy
And he doesn't look like an emotional guy.
No, he didn't at all.
It's tough to imagine. His name is Landon, shedding a tear.
He was also formerly a police officer.
Yeah.
And now he's stealing? I feel like that kind of goes against each other. Since he was 21 years that he had spent as a police officer.
Once your life is turned upside down, like you do the opposite.
You revert to just all the people that you were busting for stealing, and then you're the guy that's stealing. I just can't imagine ever. If you were could you ever see yourself crashing a wedding? It's not that wrong. That's a wrong thing to do.
I don't know. I don't have that much fun at weddings, so I don't see the.
What do you mean?
I don't think I would have a lot of interest in doing.
You're not a big wedding guy.
The more I can avoid them, the better.
Really, from what I've heard around here, you're kind of a killer on the dance floor.
You know what? I do know how to. I've DJ'd a few weddings.
Yeah,
I know how to mix up a good playlist. That doesn't mean I got moves.
You said you're trying to avoid.
But I know how to get people out there having fun.
You tried to avoid weddings at all costs, but I do DJ them. I do work them.
If I'm getting paid to go to a wedding,
it's different then.
Yeah. And free food.
Well, if you do what this guy is, it's almost like you get paid at every wedding.
I guess
if you just take the cards that the people are given.
In,
yeah.
And don't call too much attention to yourself.
See, I love weddings. I have a wedding coming up here in a couple weeks.
You do?
Uh-huh.
You want me to be your +1? Is that what you're asking?
I already have one. You said you don't like them. I would have asked you. But you don't like weddings, so
okay. I'll let you go with somebody else.
Unfortunately, I do love the dance floor. So if you came with me, you'd have to go out there.
I think you should break out your dance moves on a TikTok.
A TikTok?
For RadioU
Maybe I do
official.
A video there. I'm sure Nene would love to come and take a video.
He would love to do that.
He would love to come and take a video. But yeah, I've got a wedding coming up at the end of this month here, and so I'm looking forward to that. I probably will not steal. That's not really as my plan now.
Sounds wise.
Yeah, it's one of my friends, so I'd feel bad taking things from him.
But they wouldn't suspect you, probably.
They would never catch me. Yeah. I guarantee it. This guy got caught, which I'm not sure how that happened. Yeah. He probably was at the table, like, taking things, and someone was like, "Who are you?"
Yeah. I'm uncle, twice removed.
Twice removed, yeah. Step cousin. And,
on Aunt Annie's side.
Yeah, so this guy, the lowest of lows, and his excuse was almost even worse. But some of the other things we talked about if you're going to be attending a YuGiOh tournament anytime soon, make sure you take some cologne with you. We also broke down the new Avatar trailer. Hudson, not much of a fan. Slightly offended by that, but it's okay. And then at the end of it, we talked about Hudson has one of the smoothest voices on the radio.
Yeah. Like butter.
We let him go over the air and seduce everybody. It's fantastic.
Don't put it that way.
That's just, it sounded so, it was just so, I don't know. I didn't like it. I couldn't get through the segment of Hudson showing the most calm voice on the airways.
You're
so
saying it sounded too good.
It was just too spot on. It was too grand.
Well, enjoy, and we'll catch you later.
Yeah, we'll see you guys soon.
Don't say we didn't warn you. This is the worst of the riot.
Isaiah, you ever played YuGiOh?
I wasn't much of a YuGiOh guy.
You play any card games?
I was more Pokemon when I was younger.
Pokemon. You actually play or just have the cards?
I just had the cards. I don't think I knew how to play.
I was blown away when I actually realized that all the stuff on the card
meant something.
Yeah, I was just like, well, it's a cool picture.
Yeah, I know. I just collected the cards.
Or whatever this is pretty awesome. Oh, you can fight with it?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Roll a dice? What are we doing? Flipping coins?
I didn't know how to play, but I had a bunch of cards.
None of my friends knew. None of us played. We just traded the cards back and forth. But with YuGiOh, nobody I knew really got too into YuGiOh. But there still to this day is YuGiOh tournaments out there. And interestingly enough, the company behind YuGiOh, Konami, maybe you've heard of them. They do a lot of different stuff. They do the YuGiOh cards. And so they also officially sanction YuGiOh tournaments across the globe. And they've recently updated some rules for YuGiOh tournaments. It now turns out that you go to a YuGiOh tournament, you're expecting to play, you may get penalized if you smell bad.
If you smell bad?
If you stink, and not just at playing, but if you actually stink where people can smell you, that could be a penalty.
You get docked some points or something?
Yeah.
If you just smell, who determines that?
It's not specific.
Seems very subjective.
I also wonder, how is that established? Do you have a guy that's just going around leaning over people's shoulders, just taking it in?
Yeah, that's minus 3 points. You over here, you're minus 1, actually. You don't smell that bad, but you do have a slight pungent taste to you.
That dragon card, you're going to have to give it up.
Yeah, you
can't play that.
You can't play that one.
Not in your current state.
No, I think I could be a good smeller, a good smell tester to be able to tell if somebody smells bad or not.
It feels like an easy job.
It's a super easy job. I can tell, if you smell real bad, that's minus 5 points. If you're just kind of have a little bit of an odor to you, then you're getting minus 1 or 2 maybe. But for them to have to say this, that means that there's been an issue with this in the past.
It's been a problem, right?
There's been some
probably
stinky
some
players.
YuGiOh champion somewhere that is just that everybody they're just other than the smelling bad though, he's just dominating, and so everybody's trying to find a way to take him down. And eventually, there was enough people that were that have been submitted to Konami, the company behind YuGiOh, that said, "Listen, this is a problem." And so they just had to listen.
I can't even focus on what card to play.
Right.
Because he smells so bad. That's what it is.
Do I play? I don't know. I'm just going to try to...
Name him.
I have no idea.
Name him.
No, I don't even know. I said dragon earlier. Is dragons involved in YuGiOh? Is it swords? Is it robots? I have no clue.
No, they're weird. They're just odd creatures. Right?
I know it's anime, but other than that, is it just Pokemon just with different... knots, though?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah. They're pretty similar. Someone's going to text in and be really mad.
Oh, yeah.
It is not anything like Pokemon. I wouldn't even categorize them in the same league.
It's probably the guy who stinks at the YuGiOh
Yeah, exactly. That's
that they're making these rules for. But so this is a forewarning to you. They say, and it's not just smelling bad either. They all, if you want to hear the letter of the law, it says, you are expected to be clean when you enter a tournament. Neglecting to wash or put on clean clothes contribute to an unpleasant atmosphere at the event, as the tournament can be crowded and the day can be long. So does that mean, I wonder if some people, that's true.
You might need to refresh.
Yeah.
You get through a couple rounds, all of a sudden you got a good sweat going, baby.
Well, the thing is, once you have this law on the books, it opens the door to, do you have to provide showers at the YuGiOh events, at the conventions?
Is there deodorant to buy? Are we doing a really good spray down? What happens here?
And it sounds like either way, that's a good idea.
You got to freshen up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
The Avatar trailer, the new trailer for the long-awaited sequel to Avatar, which originally the first Avatar movie, and we're talking about the blue people Avatar, not the anime one.
Can I guess when it came out?
Yeah,
I think it came out in probably 2010.
Pretty close. 2009.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yep. So 13 years ago, the new Avatar movie, The Way of the Water, is coming out this December. And finally, the first teaser trailer came out. You watched it, right?
I did.
I watched it as well. Tell me your thoughts.
I think it looks pretty cool.
You think?
I am like, that's like my thing, though. I mean, that's like my kind of movie.
What? What about it is your thing?
I would consider it a science fiction movie.
For sure.
Which is my favorite genre of movie. So this is like right up my alley of things that I like. I liked the first one, and I feel like this is something that I would like to watch, yes.
Okay, what about the trailer is interesting to you?
See, I think that the whole Way of Water thing, so essentially what it seems like is a lot of the movie, at least from what the trailer is, it seems like it has a little bit, like they're like underwater a lot, like kind of like instead of flying, like in the last one, if you saw the last one, they were always flying on those pterodactyl-like looking things. In this one, there's even like a little part where they're flying on some sort of, I don't even know what the creature is, or I guess they're swimming on the back of some sort of weird creature underwater. So I don't know. It just looks cool. I think it, for me, it fits into my taste pretty well. The action parts of it as well. I'm a big action movie fan, so science fiction action, it's pretty much what I usually would go for.
I watched the trailer, and it doesn't look very action-y.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
They're holding like AR-15s in there.
They're holding them. They're not shooting them.
Well, they don't want to give you all the juice, baby. They're keeping a little bit for the imagination.
Well, but I just thought they would do something that was worth watching. I don't know. I just, 13 years in the making, and to me, I think they've got to win us back over.
You think so?
They've got to win some people over that are like me, that I did see the first one, not in theaters, didn't like it. And now you're telling me 13 years later, you're finally making another movie to like.
You didn't like the first one?
No.
That's wild because it's the most like money a movie's ever made.
I know. But at the time, the concept of how they made it was groundbreaking.
Oh yeah, you just weren't
ready for it. Motion capture stuff.
Your brain just couldn't even react to just the insanity that was Avatar at the time. You couldn't even wrap your mind around it.
No, I just think there's a lot of things in the world that are cool looking. Like there's a lot of movies that are cool looking, but being cool looking isn't enough to make me sit through 2.5 hours of something. Oh,
so it was a little long for you.
It was just not a good story.
Oh, you just didn't
a unique story. That I didn't care about anybody in it. I just didn't. I did not attach myself to any of the characters or anything like that.
It just wasn't your juice. You know,
I thought it was boring.
Different. Okay,
I was like, oh, this is cool. Oh, they made this with that's actual people but they're blue or whatever. Now every movie is made that way, and this, it's pretty visually cool, but then again, it kind of just looks like it could be a video game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do see that. Now, obviously at the time it was like groundbreaking, and now that's more of like what everybody's doing. I think it looks pretty cool though. I thought this will be definitely something that I will see at some point. I don't know if I'll see it in theaters. I don't know. We'll see if I want to or not. But also, I was surprised that they've also already have like 3, 4, and 5 set up as well.
I know.
So they're ready to just go now.
Pretty presumptuous of them, isn't it?
They're ready to roll now with these movies. They made enough money off the first one. I'm sure they can fund the rest of them.
That's a decent point. That even if this one
it's terrible. This one could make $0 and they can make 3 more movies.
And it's going to make a lot of money. And I know, especially you can tell, this is an international box office smash.
Oh, for sure. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, go check it out.
I just think here in the United States, we're totally over this.
You think so?
I think so.
I'm not over it.
I think we have higher standards.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The worst of the riot. RadioU.
So take a look at this guy. His name is Landon Earl Rankin, 54 years old, former sheriff deputy in Arizona. He's been arrested. He was arrested on Thursday for allegedly crashing weddings and stealing the wedding gifts. He's not going the wedding crasher route from the movies where where it's all fun and games.
Time, yeah,
just trying to meet ladies or something like that. No. He's crashing the weddings. They say he's stolen between $3,000 and $6,000 worth of wedding gifts from weddings that he was not invited to.
The good old switcheroo, we like to call it.
What's he switching?
He's switching out their stuff for his stuff, and he's just taking it.
I don't think he's switching anything.
He's not. He's just taking.
I think, he's just
he's just taking gifts.
Hiding. It seems that it is mostly like cards, and so he'd take the cards,
straight up money.
probably just hiding them in his jacket or something like that, and waltzing out of there, feeling a few bucks richer. And I guess it worked for a while. But because he wound up going to, they say, 11 weddings before he was finally apprehended by law enforcement. This guy, I can't imagine this is how he's walking into the weddings, because he looks like a white trash Michael Keaton, like with a mustache and a tank top.
The first thing I noticed about this guy based off of his mugshot here, and we're allowed to make fun of him because he's been stealing money from others. There's a lot of space between his nose and his top lip. You see that? His mustache is
it's a long mustache.
It's a long, like an unusually tall mustache. It's a big one.
A big, a scowl on his face.
It's almost like a triangle there. It's
actually,
pretty impressive.
you could make
Isn't that pretty big?
What do you call that? An isosceles?
It looks like, I can get an angle out of that. That's probably 80 degrees.
Yeah. Wow. So Landon Earl Rankin, he also, once he was picked up by cops, they also added on several drug charges because he was found with amphetamine and fentanyl in his possession as well.
Well, this just goes to show another time, if you're going to be an add-on to a party or maybe be somewhere you're not supposed to be, you got to draw as little attention to yourself as you can.
Blend in.
Yeah, exactly. And he did that for a while. It was impressive that he was able to do this for this long and be able to take all this money. But at the same time, if you're going to go somewhere, can't you just enjoy the party? Why you got to take from people? Why can't you just enjoy the festivities? Maybe you shouldn't even be there in the first place. Did he get food? Do you think he was participating in the wedding?
Are you allowed to? Can they add that onto the charges for the people that were throwing the weddings?
Oh, yeah, he had a plate or two, maybe? Was he on the dance floor? Did he have any drinks? These are all things that need to be a part of this.
What, the dance floor?
How long was he hanging around?
Is there extra charges for him dancing?
Oh, yes.
He was doing the electric slide.
He was utilizing the DJ. Number one, I paid big money for him. I didn't want him being able to utilize his music.
Now, he says his excuse is not that this really excuses any of his behavior, except maybe for just showing up at the weddings. He says when he was picked up that he was going because he wanted to hear the vows because he was going through a divorce.
What do we even say to that, Landon? That's the best you could come up with?
It took
After 21 years in the force, that's what you come up with?
It took a sad turn right there.
I don't know. There's no reason to steal. I can't feel bad for you if you're going to take. The best day of my life is the day that you get married, and then you're going to do this?
It'd be an odd turnaround, too. It's hard to picture Landon Earl Rankin tearing up at the vows, too, you know?
Oh, no.
Having to hold till death do us part. He's just thinking, yeah, right. That was Sharon.
Good thing I took this $1,000 from you. Good thing you guys have each other.
Yeah.
You don't need this money, oddly enough.
Hey, that's right.
You need the money, you're so happy. So glad for you guys.
One day you'll understand.
This is RadioU's Worst of the Riot.
You heard of the meditation app Calm?
I have heard of that.
Yeah? Have you used it?
I've never used it, but I always see the advertisements for it.
Yeah, they love to be in podcasts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like they're always like on like ads for social media too, like in between. Like if you're watching stories on Instagram or something, then it's like trying to calm you down. I don't know.
So the idea of Calm is that you do, I don't know, guided meditation, but you can also just have people like read stuff to you or something like that. But it's all supposed to just be calming. And so Calm is running a new contest. They want to find the smoothest voice on TikTok to be.
Why are you talking like this?
Narrator.
Stop it. You're doing it right now.
I'm auditioning.
You're doing it right. I knew the whole time. I was like, why is he talking like this?
If I get chosen to be the smoothest voice on TikTok for Calm, 5,000 cold ones.
5,000 for the next
cold ones? That sounds like a beer.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
5,000 big ones.
You'll never get hired.
Yeah. Well, it would be scripted if I was reading for Calm. So.
Yeah, I guess you just have to read off a piece of paper. Yeah. They would just have to like your voice.
That would avoid all of the stupid things I say.
I think you could do it because of your voice. I think you have a calming voice.
I think it is.
I think what you were doing there, that was kind of calming me.
Change my demeanor.
I think if you did that, you would.
See, this is a terrible kind of tactic to take on a morning show, though, because you don't want to put everybody back to sleep. They're already drowsy.
They're probably driving.
Dozing. Yeah, right. Behind the wheel of a vehicle.
And Hudson's like trying to calm
doing their makeup and reading the newspaper and just trying to do anything.
They're
and
doing their eyebrows
all
right
of a sudden, I'm, why don't you just put down the paper?
This is making me uncomfortable. I don't like this.
Turn up the radio a little bit. Close your eyes.
We have to put this an end to this.
I think they should choose me.
I think you have a good voice for it. I think I am nearly the opposite person for them.
Why don't you try it?
I couldn't do calm. I think I would have to do hype.
I know, you're very hyper.
I would have to do hype or something.
Yeah.
I couldn't do calm because my voice doesn't really match that. My voice is a little bit too high-pitched for calm.
Your personality, too.
I could never...
There's nothing about you that's calm.
No, I wouldn't. I would agree with that. I don't think there is either. And my voice just doesn't really match calm. Like, even if my personality on the show was calm, I don't think I would even be good at it. Because my voice being calm, I don't really like it. Because my voice just doesn't really match that.
Keep going.
Even the way that I talk and, like, the way that my voice works, I guess in the way that it goes, it's just kind of like... da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Where you can just slow it down a little bit. Just need some real nice.
See, but you doing an impression of me slowing it down still doesn't sound so bad.
It doesn't sound terrible, but it's not really how I speak. So then I'm just be doing something I'm not.
Isaiah, I don't normally talk like this either.
I feel like you're seducing me, and I don't like it. I don't like it. You can watch the.
I don't know if that would be a good trait to have in a calm reader.
No,
if I sound a little too alluring.
A little too seductive.
A little too much like a velour fog.
Oh, gosh, I hate this. Who listens to calm? Is this what they're listening to?
The fog fills the room.
It would freak me out if I was laying down.
Suddenly, you're dozing off. No, there's nothing sudden about calm, is there?
No.
Thanks for watching the worst of the riot. Since you made it this far, you might as well like, subscribe, and check out riot.radiou.com for even more riot.